So, what are my final thoughts? Well, the dialogue is real hit or miss. The acting is pretty good. The soundtrack, I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it. Oh, but the story. Just to continue with my whole patented thing here, let's talk about just the very, very many Crookshanks. For one, Mrs. Weasley being against Harry, knowing what the Order is up to. In the book, this is a constant point of frustration for Harry and the reader. She is adamant that the kids not know what the Order is up to because they're too young, and it's an argument that lasts throughout the rest of the series. It frustrates Harry to no end and provides a little bit of a red herring for his building anger, which he and the reader interpret as teenage angst from being treated like a child, which he's angry about not only because he's 15, but he's also done more to fight evil than she literally ever will. In the movie, it is a single line that's so inconsequential that you don't even know what the result of it was. Kingsley and Dumbledore's office. I covered this one. It actually actively undermined his character in the eyes of the audience. Fred and George leaving. So in the books, you know that Fred and George honestly respect and adore Dumbledore. They are troublemakers, but they would never do anything too bad. They would never hurt anyone, and they would never do anything to damage Hogwarts. And then Dumbledore leaves. Allegedly. The gargoyle never lets Umbridge into the office, so I've always been pretty sure Dumbledore just lived up there even after that. Regardless, once she's headmaster, Fred and George devote their lives to ruining hers. They trash the school so effectively and deliberately for weeks that Umbridge has to spend most of every day running to different ends of the school to deal with their latest insanity, and Filch realizes how well behaved they've been for the last 7 years. Finally, Umbridge catches them setting off fireworks and expels them, and they leave in spectacular fashion. The fallout is Umbridge still can't get rid of everything they've done, and they're not available to help Harry distract Umbridge when they need to use her fireplace to hopefully contact Sirius. For the movie, well, all of them, really. The Weasley twins got short shrift for everything, but inside this Order of the Phoenix movie, it's just a fireworks show. And then they leave, and it doesn't have any effect on the broader narrative. Snape's memory. In the book, this rocks Harry's world. He is gutted to see that his dad treated Snape that way. And he has Fred and George provide a distraction so he can use Umbridge's fireplace just to ask Sirius and Lupin about it. Here, it affects nothing and is never brought up again. And then there's the prophecy. In the book, Voldemort is after the prophecy because he only heard part of it after it was given, and he thinks that listening to the whole thing will give him a clue on how Harry beat him as a baby and thus help him prevent that from ever happening again. In the movie, we don't know why Voldemort wants it, and not telling your audience why your climax is happening is kind of inexcusable. And then there's Creature. Creature is probably the worst one, and it might be one of the worst ones in the series. You see, in the book, Creature is the house elf for Sirius's childhood home. He is a rotten piece of work and mean to everyone, so Sirius isn't particularly kind to him either. At one point, Sirius yells for Creature to get out, and Creature uses that as an excuse to obey and leave the house to go to Bellatrix Lestrange, where he tells her all about Harry's connection to Voldemort and his relationship with Sirius. She then tells Voldemort, and he sets a trap using that knowledge. If you haven't read the book, you know none of that. You honestly have no idea why Creature is in this movie at all. You see him, and then you see him again, and then nothing else is done with his character. Luna. Oh, my dear sweet Luna. Havana Lynch is incredible, but Luna has no purpose in this movie. In the book, her big contribution to the story is her dad runs a magazine called The Quibbler, which you kind of assume is like The Inquirer. After a while, Hermione convinces Harry to give an interview to the Quibbler where he spells out exactly what happened when Voldemort returned. Once the story is out, more and more students start to believe Harry, and more people outside of Hogwarts do too. His becoming friends with Luna starts to turn around the effort to resist Voldemort. In the movie, they removed all of that, but they knew that we all wanted Luna. I'm honestly not sure if Rowling expected her to be as popular as she was. To their credit, they did actually try to give her a purpose by being an outsider for Harry to talk to about his problems, to give him an honest perspective on what's going through. However, that attempt was hampered by the story. Andrew Clavin once said something to the effect of, sometimes as a writer, someone will come up to you at a party or something and ask if you're working on anything. You'll say, yes. Well, what's it about? Well, it's about a detective and he's investigating this weird murder, and then they interrupt you. No. What's it about? And they mean, what's the deeper meaning? What was I trying to say with it? But if I could say that in one sentence, I wouldn't have written an entire story to say it. Now, that's true. You can usually say a theme in one sentence, but the exploration of that theme takes a whole story. Power corrupts, but to explore the many ways that power can corrupt and how to deal with that and what it looks like took Tolkien over 1,000 pages. This movie, weirdly, has the exact opposite problem. I can easily say what it's about. It's about how people are stronger together and we should avoid isolation. But I cannot tell you what this movie is just about in a single sentence. The book is easy. The book is about people attempting to prevent the rise of Voldemort in the face of the government's militant denial of that possibility. Every plot has that hanging over everything. Harry is attacked by Dementors because Umbridge sent them after him. Didn't know that if you haven't read the book. To get rid of his story about Voldemort. Harry has his court hearing because the Ministry is seeking to expel him from Hogwarts and Wizard Society in general. Umbridge becomes the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher because the Ministry wants to keep an eye on Dumbledore. A lot of students don't believe Harry because the Ministry has been waging a propaganda campaign against him and his story. Umbridge isn't teaching students to fight the dark arts because the Ministry has decided the reason Dumbledore insists Voldemort is returning is as an excuse to overthrow the Ministry, and they don't want students to become an army he can use. Teachers are fired because they're too loyal to Dumbledore and not the Ministry. The climax of the book isn't when Dumbledore tells Voldemort he's better than him because he has friends, partially because that nonsense didn't happen. It's when Harry and Dumbledore are proven right. And if you want to talk theme, the book's theme is twofold. Always stand for truth even when it's hard, and you shouldn't let adversity make you lose sight of who your real enemies are. Also, the subtle theme that government sucks. So the filmmakers took a story and changed the theme without changing the story. And you can't do that. You can't try to plug a theme into a story that it wasn't made for. Their only real attempt was the changes to Harry's interaction with Luna, but since that's it, those scenes feel like they're from a different story. So since they removed the original theme and tried to tack on a new one, it made it so we don't have a story at all. Instead, we have a bunch of disjointed scenes that are only connected by the characters that are happening to. So yeah, bad movie. Again, and when you completely change a story's theme and try to make it a new one, you've definitely failed at making a decent adaptation too. And it sucks that we have no reason to expect a good one anytime soon. You'll see me next time if you subscribe. Bye.
Well, kids, that's all you get. That's it.